everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to discuss about classification 1, that is second topic from 1 biology. I slightly examined and challenged to many. So my YouTube channel accommodates 3 types of learners. Those are quick learners, middle class learners, and also slow learners. So come with me till the end. You'll enjoy the video. I'll start by defining what is classification. Classification is just grouping organisms with similar characteristics and differences. You use characteristics and differences to classify organisms. We have the importance why biologists just saw it wisely to classify organisms. Number 1, through classification of organisms, this brings or helps biologists to bring together organisms with the similar characteristics and separate with different characteristics. Through this, it helps the biologist or somebody studying biology to use it for future reference. Also, through studying biology, it helps in knowing the evolutionary relationship within organisms. And also through classification or grouping of organisms, it avoids chaos and even confusion to the people studying biology or biologists. After that, we are going to what we call taxonomic units of classification. Taxonomic units of classification. Classification. We have taxonomic units of classification, and there are 7 in number. So, taxonomy is just the scientific study or grouping of organisms. Taxonomist, a person studying taxonomy. Then we have 7 taxonomic units of classification. Number 1, we have kingdom. Number 2, we have phylum, in bracket division or stroke division. Number 3, we have order. Number 3, we have order. Number 3, we have class. Then number 4, we have order. Number 5, we have family. Number 6, we have genus. And finally, number 7, we have species. In this taxonomic unit of classification, I want you to understand something here. It starts from the largest and the biggest classification, or the biggest group or largest to the smallest one. That means that it's hierarchical. So it appears in order. It's supposed to be appear in order. That means that number 1 largest is kingdom. Number 2 largest is phylum in animals, while division in plants. Then number 3 largest we call class. Number 4 order. Number 5 family. Number 6 genus. Then lastly, that number 7, the smallest possible, the smallest grouping is called species. So with this, you can be asked question about what is a species. These are smallest unit of classification, whereby members of the species can naturally interbreed and give rise to the same offspring or similar kind of offspring. So first of all, it's the smallest unit of classification. Kingdom is the largest unit of classification. A question can come from here also by asking which type or which group under taxonomic unit of classification where the organisms are multicellular. When asked about multicellular, come from the upper. That is the largest organism. E.g. human kingdom. So these are the multicellular organisms. Most of them are from kingdom. Then we have the phylum, we have class, we have order, we have family, we have genus, we have species. So after that, we're going to learn about something called after taxonomic unit of classification. Number 1, we said is kingdom. We want to know something about kingdom as it the last or the largest unit of classification. So kingdom also is divided into five groups. Then number 1, we have kingdom Number one, we have kingdom Animalia. When asked to start from the, it's advisable, to start from the lowest. Number one lowest, the smallest is kingdom Monera. Number two, we have kingdom Protoctista. Number three, we have, after kingdom Protoctista, we have kingdom Fungi. Number four, we have, after that one, we have kingdom Plantae. Then number five, under the kingdom, we have, the last one, we have kingdom Animalia. When asked about this, under the kingdom, we have 5 groups. We have kingdom Monera, e.g. it consists of bacteria. Kingdom Protoctista, e.g. we have amoeba. Amoeba is a good example of kingdom Protoctista. Then kingdom Fungi, we have a good example called mushroom. Then kingdom Plantae, e.g. even maize plant. Then lastly, we have kingdom Animalia, e.g. human being, lion, etc. So here is whereby the question might come, and you can be asked about the group where there is multicellular under kingdom. It's automatically kingdom Animalia. When asked about one, then say it's Animalia. When asked about two, just start from the behind. When asked about two groups or two groups of under kingdom where there is multicellular organism, start with Animalia. When asked to, come to Plantae, because this is where we have multicellular. It just means that more than one cell. Multicellular means more than one cell. When talking about unicellular, that means the organism having one cell or singular cell. When asked about unicellular, come to Monera. Kingdom Monera, these are just low organisms, whereby they are very tiny, found in the underground or on top of the soil, and they have large surface area to volume ratio, since the highest percentage of their body parts are in contact with the soil. So this makes them to be a unicellular, because the body is very tiny that cannot compose or cannot accommodate multi-cell inside it. So only one cell is just enough for them, that is unicellular. So even amoeba in kingdom Protoctista is also a unicellular. It contains one cell, since very tiny, and it has large surface area to volume ratio, since the higher percentage of its contact body is inside the soil or around the soil. So you might be asked any question about that, and you answer like that. So we are going faster to what we call the last thing in this topic is what we call scientific naming of organism. Scientific naming of organism. And a scientific naming of organism. Before those back centuries, organisms were just called by the local names. So it brought a lot of confusion, because different localities use different languages to call it. So there was no same language to command people, or for better understanding, for communication. So the scientific naming of organism is called binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature is just a scientific double naming of organism. The binomial nomenclature is used in a Latin language, whereby organisms are just given names, double naming of organism in Latin. For example, we have human being. human being. The scientific name of human being is Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens. Oh no, Homo sapiens. It's called Homo sapiens. So this one is a Latin name. This one is a Latin name, but in a local name, English name is human being. But this human being can't be understood by everybody in the world. So they chose it wisely for better communication or understanding to each other. Let us give them the Latin name, that is the binomial nomenclature, the double naming of organism. So the first one here represents genus. The first one here represents genus. The second name here represents species. Species. Here we have the rules and how the binomial nomenclature or double naming of organisms are followed. The rule or principles to be followed. Number one, the first letter, the first name, that is Homo, is a genus one. Number one, the first name is genus, followed by species, species. This is the second one. That is number 1 point. The first name is the genus. The second name is species. Then another rule is that the first letter of the genus, that is H, should be in capital. First genus letter. Genus should be in capital. Should be written in capital, in caps, in capital. The third point here is that when handwritten, should be underlined separately. That is, Homo should be underlined separately the way I did. Then Sapien should be also underlined separately. The last point is that when written in italics, that is when typed from the computer or anything, or printed from computer, then the scientific name should be in italics to separate them from the normal writings or printed in that note. So when typed or printed should be in italics to differentiate it from other writing materials or written things there. So those are all about the binomial nomenclature, and I think everything is okay there. So we talked about introduction, we defined about classification, we talked about the importance, we talked about the taxonomic units, we talked about the kingdom and our taxonomic units, and then finally we talked about scientific naming of organisms. And I think you've learned a lot, and I know I'm 100% sure that you've learned a lot. And continue watching till the end. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and let us meet next time in the next video. Thank you.